Right then folks, Greeno out and about again. Where am I today? Well, today I am in York. That's right, I've come all the way up to Yorkshire. A place that apparently Yorkshire folk claim is the best county in the world. They obviously haven't been to Dorset, have they? But I do like it up here in Yorkshire, and York particularly is a fabulous town. So much history here, going right back to the time of the Vikings, you know, and even before that, I guess, because the Vikings had to invade somewhere, didn't they? Why am I here? Well, for once, I'm out and about on a Sunday. I don't very often get to get out on a Sunday. I'm come for a Sunday lunch. Here, the Tomahawk Steakhouse. Now, a steakhouse might not be the first place you think of for a Sunday lunch, but apparently this place is just about the best place in York to get a Sunday lunch. In fact, it's one of the best places in the whole of Yorkshire, apparently. So I'm really excited for it. Oh, a bit of roast lamb, Yorkshire puddings. Sounds right up my strata, that does. Come on, let's go check it out. Right, guys, so I'm in and I am seated, and I've got to say this place is really, really nice. It's a sort of converted old building, lots of exposed brickwork as you can see behind me. This big plush kind of leather bench. There's lots of sort of individual tables here, tables for 4, booths, so there's all sorts of different seating options. Really, really nice. As I said, I'm here on a Sunday lunchtime, so it is a Sunday lunch I'm going to be going for. So we'll have a little look at the menu. There's some really good options on there. So for the roasts, they've got beef rump, chicken breast, pork loin or minted lamb. I do like lamb, so I think we're probably going to go for that. You can get sharing Sunday boards where you can mix and match the meats a little bit. But I think I'm just going to go with a lamb. And that's going to come with stuffing, roast potatoes, cauliflower cheese, Yorkshire pudding, of course, Savoy cabbage with bacon, seasonal vegetables, roasted parsnips and carrots, and a bottomless red wine gravy. And that all sounds pretty posh, doesn't it? They do have some other options available on the menu here, even though it's a Sunday, but we're not interested in them today. I am going to go for a starter though. They have got deals on starters. So if you get one course, the main is $19.95. If you get 2 courses, $25.95. So only another £6 to order a starter, and you can go $29.95 and get a dessert too. We'll see how we go. But there's some really nice starter options on here too. I might go for a prawn cocktail. That's a kind of a classic starter to have before a roast dinner, isn't it? They also have a really extensive drinks menu here. There's cocktails on there, mocktails, different liqueur coffees, soft drinks. I've gone with a soft drink myself today, driving, so I've just gone for a lime and soda. And a very extensive wine list too. So lots of different options on there if you happen to be in York, staying in the town or whatever, or you've got the train here or public transport. There's lots of different interesting drink options to have. So I've been brought some tap water, got a nice little cut kind of glass, water glass there, and a whole big bottle of tap water there. So we'll get going on that while I'm waiting for the lime and soda to arrive. I have ordered that already. Not put my order in for the lunch yet, but yeah, I think we're going to go prawn cocktail, roast lamb. Sounds decent, that, doesn't it? So of course, as the name suggests here, Tomahawk Steakhouse. During the week and on a Saturday and whatever, this does operate as a steakhouse. The Sunday lunch menu is of course only available on a Sunday. But what's interesting about it being a steakhouse is it's right next door to a massive Miller & Carter. So I don't know how the prices compare or whatever, whether there's any competition between them. But this obviously is a standalone business, so they'll do things slightly differently. I've not actually had a look at their general day-to-day menu, but I'm sure it's going to be very, very similar to what they do right next door, isn't it? I've got to say, I quite like this little camera angle. Look, you've got the light behind my head and it makes me look kind of angelic, doesn't it? Which of course I am. You all know that, don't you? So I've had my lime and soda delivered, again, in one of these nice sort of fancier looking glasses. Not your bog standard pub one. Some nice chunks of ice in there to keep it cool as we're going along, and a paper straw. And they've not been shy with the lime. I do like a lime and soda. I think it's quite a nice little refreshing drink. And it's generally cheaper than a Coke or whatever, isn't it? Even though it's basically the same thing. It's good. I've got to say too, the service so far has been very, very nice. Greeted at the door by ladies managing the service who brought me up, let me choose which table I wanted to out of the available ones. And my waitress, or server, however you want to call them these days, has been very, very friendly, very, very helpful. Just brought me over an extra little steak knife thing to go with my roast lamb. Also gave me the option whether I wanted it well done or served pink. I've gone with pink, I just prefer it that way. And yeah, the restaurant's filling up quite nicely. There's probably about half the tables full at the moment. I came in very, very early in the service. I booked my table for 12 o'clock. We're about 1:15 now, and it's starting to fill up, and I'm sure by the time we get around to sort of 12:30, 1 o'clock, this place is going to be absolutely jumping with people. Right then, folks, starter has arrived, prawn cocktail. Again, served in the same glass that they use for the water, same sort of cut glass kind of thing. And it's quite an interesting presentation. So we've got all the greenery down in the bottom here, the layer of prawns there, and the Mary Rose sauce as a layer on top. It's kind of like a prawn cocktail trifle. And there's something else on the top. I'm not quite sure what it is actually. Is it maybe some sweet onion or something like that? We've also got a slice of lemon here, squeeze over the top of the prawns, and a piece of bread with some butter. Expected a little bit better than just a butter pat like this, maybe just in a tiny little bowl or something, just for presentational reasons. But other than that, I think it looks perfectly nice. Let's get the butter onto the bread first, shall we? Actually, it's quite solid, the butter. It's obviously just come straight out the fridge. So obviously it's difficult to spread under those circumstances, isn't it? So we just kind of warm it up in the hands a little bit. Trying not to let the butter leak out all over the place. And hopefully just that little bit of warmth from my hands will make it a little easier to spread as we go along. Yeah, so you can see it just comes off a little bit easier then. But we'll start with the prawns rather than the bread. So, like I say, it's an interesting little presentational thing. Quite often you'll get prawn cocktail in a glass, won't you? It's either like a sort of wine glass kind of thing or like a champagne glass, that sort of thing. So it's interesting to have it in a tumbler. Let's see what this little thing on the top is. Like I say, it looks kind of like some kind of sweet onion, like onion marmalade or something. Not something I've experienced with a prawn cocktail before. The Mary Rose sauce here, you can see, or I can see, you probably can't see, has got a nice dusting of paprika on there. Yeah, and that's the classic flavour you're expecting. So the prawns in here, let's have a little look, see if we can find them. Now it's a little bit hard to identify, of course, because they're covered in the sauce. But it's not king prawns or anything in there. It is sort of fairly standard little shrimp kind of prawns. Nice little texture, nice flavour to them. The sauce really is a good sauce. It packs a little bit of a punch. There's a touch of chilli in there. What have we got in the salad? Oh, there's some tomato in the salad as well, down the bottom. So, of course, as you dig down into it, you're kind of mixing up those layers. So the layers are there just for presentational reasons. And as you dive in, you kind of mix it all up together, don't you? And the freshness and the crunch of that salad, married up with that kind of softness of the prawn, that really is a very appealing kind of mouthfeel and flavour. Cool, I'm enjoying that. And every now and again, you get one of those little pieces of sweet onion. It just adds another little flavour and texture into it. Oh yeah. So I think there's a little dash of Tabasco or something in here too in the sauce. Because something that's giving it a little bit extra zing. Yeah, good. We haven't put the lemon in yet. So we'll add some of that in as well. See what that adds to the party. Immediately you can smell a little bit of a difference. That does add a nice little sharpness and cuts through some of the richness of that Mary Rose a little. Yeah, that is tasty. And prawn cocktail, I think, is a bit of an overlooked starter because it's kind of got connotations of you know, your Bernie Inn in the 1970s was a sort of something we thought was sophisticated back in the day, and basically just prawns in a sauce. But it's tasty. Let's grab a little bit of this bread as well. Excellent. Nice bread from an uncut loaf. Thick slice of it. It looks a really good quality bread, to be honest with you. Nice and soft. The crust has got a little bit of a chew to it. It's not a hard, crusty one. Right. I'm going to crack on with this, and we'll come back when the main course arrives. Actually, before the main comes, I have finished this up, but of course having the bread in there means you can dip in and get all that lovely sauce out. Look at that. All over the bread. That's yummy. So, main course has arrived, and doesn't it look good? Got the roast lamb here on the plate with the stuffing. We have potatoes, carrots, parsnips under there. A giant looking Yorkshire pudding here. Look at the size of that. And we have gravy here. They have told me that I can ask that to be topped up again if I need to, which is always good. Here we have a side of cauliflower cheese, which is really nicely kind of grilled on the top, and some green vegetables here. There's carrot, cabbage, broccoli and peas in there. So lots and lots to be getting on with, isn't there? So I think what I'm going to do first, we're going to go straight in for the lamb. Try a piece of that. Like I say, it was asked to have it cooked pink, and it has come out cooked pink. Cuts very nicely. Nice thick slice as well. That's really good. They put a little bit of kind of gravy over the top of it, but not a lot. Obviously you can add it to taste afterwards. And a steak knife makes short work of cutting through this lamb. So, let's see how this is. Lamb is one of my favourites. Given the choices, either lamb or beef, every time, oh, that lamb is delicious. That was soft and succulent, and so flavoursome. Really is very, very tasty. There we go, get a little bit more, and then we'll add some mint sauce on, I guess, to give that a try. Really tender. That is very, very nice. We've got the mint sauce in this mini little kind of flower pot, which is quite a nice presentational touch. Good thick mint sauce, it's not been watered down too much with vinegar there. I'll put a bit on the side. To be honest, if I do a lamb roast at home, I normally put mint sauce in the gravy. So you're going to get it absolutely everywhere then. I love mint sauce. You get it all over the peas, you get it all over the veg, you get it all over the potatoes. It's a winner. Right. Really nice mint sauce, that really fresh, vibrant tasting. That's such a delicious combination. I know a lot of people outside of the UK think lamb should probably go with like just rosemary or garlic and that sort of thing. It's only really the UK that does it with mint sauce. You guys should all be trying it because it is absolutely delicious as a combination, it really is. So, one more little bit of that and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, roast potatoes next. Now there's only 3 roast potatoes on here. Obviously they're trying to look after my figure a little bit, but they do look nicely cooked. We'll cut into one here. It's nice and fluffy inside. Nice little bit of crisp to the outside of it too. Good roast potato, that. And the carrots and the parsnips have also been roasted. They add a little bit of sweetness to the dish, of course. Oh, I found another potato hiding underneath the Yorkshire pudding, so we've got 4 on there. I think that's a fair portion. We'll try the parsnip. The parsnip isn't normally one of my favourite flavours. I just find it a little too sweet, and particularly if they put honey on or anything like that. But we'll try it. Actually, that's quite nice. It's not too sweet. Definitely haven't added any honey to it. There's a little bit of herb on the outside. And it's got a bit of earthiness in with that sweetness, which really does work quite nicely. And get some of this cauliflower cheese on here now. This is served in a nice kind of little metal bowl, which is obviously been under the grill, so it's quite warm. In fact, the plate is also warm, as is this one that the green veg is in. So like I say, this looks really quite appealing. I'm trying to get a smallish bit so it don't take up the whole plate. You could, I don't know if you caught that on the camera there, but it was a bit of a cheese pull as we got that out. And there's a lot of sauce underneath here. Yeah, that's good. So, let's get a little bit with this crispy kind of topping on and some of the soft stuff from underneath. Nice sharp cheesy flavour there. And cauliflower, not overcooked. That's one of the problems with cauliflower cheese sometimes, isn't it? Because cauliflower releases quite a lot of water as it cooks. And so it can make it a bit watery and make the sauce a bit runny, but this is cooked nicely. The green veg we got here, like I say, there's some cabbage here, some peas, a bit of broccoli. So we'll get some of that all on the plate. All looks very nicely cut, nice and vibrant green colours, so not overdone. Try this broccoli. Even cutting that, you can feel that it's still got a nice bit of bite to it. And the cabbage and the peas. A really nice fresh accompaniment to everything there. Now, one thing that hasn't been tried yet is this. I mean, have a look at this Yorkshire pudding. That's just an absolute belter, isn't it? Obviously homemade on site, and obviously by someone who knows what they're doing. So, I'll try a little bit of that. Perfect. It's not greasy at all. It has the right combination of crisp on the top and a little bit softer towards the bottom. That is tasty. And then we've got just one little small piece of stuffing. Just sausage meat stuffing. Kind of a regular kind of sage and onion type affair. But packed with flavour. That's really good actually. Really tasty. Get a little bit of mint sauce on these veggies too. Like I say, it's one of my favourite things, that is. Just gives everything a little bit of extra zing. Gravy time. So let's get this poured over. Oh, that's a really nice thick looking red wine gravy. Wow, it's got a lovely shine to it. Go on, we'll get the whole lot on there because obviously we're going to add the veggies and stuff as we go along. Put that over there out the way. Oh. It kind of looks like a roast dinner soup now. There's that much gravy on there. And it's a really flavoursome gravy. It really is. Oh. That's another one of those things. You could fill a bath with that. And I'd hop in it. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Thank you. Again, staff coming and checking back on me, making sure as I'm going through the meal that I'm still satisfied with everything. And be assured, I certainly am. This is delicious. I've just been passed a dessert menu, so we'll take another little look at this. There's a couple of things on here which sound pretty interesting. I mean, sticky toffee pudding is always a favourite, isn't it? But after having a starter and that main roast lamb, do I really need something quite that heavy? Probably not. But they have got something else on here that really is singing out to me. I'll show you when it arrives. Here we go then, folks. Another sort of nod to the 70s, I guess, a bit like a prawn cocktail. I've gone for a lemon meringue pie, and this comes with raspberry ripple ice cream, which was always my favourite as a kid. So it's a very nice little tart base, kind of like a French lemon tart. Meringue, you can see here, nice and spongy, nicely grilled on the top, and then a big dollop of the raspberry ripple on top there. A couple of raspberries and a little bit of greenery in there just to add a bit of colour. And also a little wafer branded with their logo on there, which is a nice little touch. So, let's start with the tart. Let's see if we can get a little bit of this off. There's a bit of raspberry coulis on the plate too, so we'll pick a little bit of that up to go with it. Looks like a nicely made tart. That is tasty actually. The lemon is a little more subtle than I'm used to in a lemon meringue pie. I think the tart case could be crispier. It's not soggy, but it's not crispy. But the meringue is lovely, nice and soft. The raspberry coulis is full of flavour. We've got a couple of fresh raspberries here, which do look beautifully fresh. Nice little bit of sharpness from them as well as sweetness. And then we'll grab some of this raspberry ripple ice cream here. Really nice. Looks like a sort of like a farmhouse kind of ice cream. It's very rich. Nice vanilla flavour. The raspberry sauce that runs through it has actually got bits of freeze-dried raspberry in as well, which add not only flavour but texture. That is a very, very indulgent ice cream, it really is. You get a little bit of the wafer too. So that does give the crispy element. I think it's possibly a little lacking in the dessert. Like I said, I'd have preferred the pastry to be a little crispier. But it's sweet, it's indulgent, and it's a very sort of nice modernised version of what I think of as a bit of a 70s classic. I was thinking I wasn't going to bother with dessert, to be honest, but I'm glad I did now. Right then, guys, got the bill, paid the bill. What did I think of my lunch here at the Tomahawk in York? Do you know what? I really enjoyed it. One or two little minor issues, I think, but nothing that's going to detract from it being a great lunch. I think with the start of the prawn cocktail, they could have used slightly better quality prawns. They were just the little shrimps, and they could have put the little butter thing into a bowl rather than just using like a cheap pat of butter. The main course, the roast lamb, difficult to find fault with any of that, to be honest. It was all absolutely delicious. The dessert, again, really tasty. I just think that perhaps it could have had a more pronounced lemon flavour to the lemon meringue pie and a crispier case for it to go in, more like a sort of proper French tart kind of case. Other than that, really happy with everything. I like the vibe of the restaurant. The service was really, really good. Shout out to Susanna, who was my server today. She did a great job. She really looked after me. The bill. So, the large lime and soda, £1.30. Now, there's a deal on the lunch. It was $29.95 for 3 courses. Ordinarily, the prawn cocktail would be $10.95. I think that would be a little bit strong for that. The roast lamb, $19.95. And the lemon meringue pie would have been $8.75. Again, possibly a touch strong for that lemon meringue, I'd have thought. But as a deal, I got a £9.70 discount on that to get it down to $29.95. Optional service charge, 10%, £3.12. Absolutely no issue with paying that at all. Like I said, the service there was really, really good. So overall, £34.37 for a really very, very acceptable 3-course Sunday lunch. I don't think that's bad at all. So, on to a score. Well, like I say, I can't give it a perfect 5 because I think there are a couple of little things that could be improved. But I'm more than happy to give it a 4.5 out of 5. Definitely. If you're in York and you're looking for somewhere that's kind of got a little bit of sophistication about it, for a Sunday lunch, like I say, I can't speak to them being a steakhouse because I haven't had a steak here. Other people were ordering steaks for Sunday lunch though, and they did look good. Yeah, I would recommend coming here. I think it's a great little place. So, it's safe to say that Tomahawk has got Greeno's green light. Definitely. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget, click a thumbs up on there for me. It does help with the channel. And if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, why not consider subscribing? I'm always grateful to each and every one of you that does that. Right, where to next? The world is my oyster. You'll have to wait till next time to see where I end up though. I'll see you then.